Good morning. This morning we are going to be discussing character traits. Who remembers what they are? So, character traits are individual qualities that characters have that make them special and make them come to life. So, character traits help us describe our characters. And remember, our characters means who's in the story. Okay? Who remembers the two different types of character traits? Okay, that would be internal and external. Internal character traits and external character traits. Do we remember the difference? Let's look at our anchor chart. External character traits are what we see with our eyes on the outside about the character. That might include their hair color, hair length, clothing, height, facial expressions, actions. So, what do we use our eyes to see? That's what external character traits are. Internal character traits are based on the character's personality. So we learn about their personality through their thoughts and their words and their feelings. I like to use the "in" at the beginning of internal to help us remember that internal means on the inside. Okay, let's think about the little girl from my dream playground last week. What types of internal and external character traits could we say about her? What could we list? So for internal, I put imaginative, hardworking, and proud. Those are all adjectives that we could list about her based on her thoughts, her words, and her feelings. External character traits, I put brown curly hair, pink dress, and short. So the external character traits are things that we could see based on how she looks, based on what we see with our eyes. Okay? So today we are going to read Three Hens and a Peacock. And we're going to think about the character traits from these characters in this story. So it's written by Lester Laminack and illustrated by Henry Cole. Things were quiet on the Tuckers' farm. The cows chewed their cud, the hens clucked and pecked and laid their eggs. The old hound stretched out on the porch, watching and listening. Once in a while, someone would stop to buy tomatoes or corn, perhaps a quart of milk. Nothing unusual happened there. Until that peacock showed up. The cows and the hens and the old hound kept right on doing what they'd always done. But that peacock had never lived on a farm. He had no idea what to do, so he spread his fancy feathers and set to shrieking. Eventually, the peacock wandered down to the road. When cars whizzed by, he shook his feathers and cried out in his loudest voice. Of course, folks stopped for a closer look. Day after day, more folks stopped to admire the peacock, and they all bought tomatoes and corn, eggs and milk. Business on the Tuckers' farm was booming. Everyone seemed happy to have visitors stopping by. So why do you think they liked looking at the peacock so much? Why did everyone stop to admire him? And who do you think was not happy about it? But trouble was brewing in the hen house. The hens were squawking and clucking and flapping their wings. We do all the work around here. I'd like to see that peacock lay one single egg. Exactly. He just struts around screaming. I suppose fancy feathers are more important than laying eggs. That peacock gets all the attention and we do all the work. So how are the hens feeling about the peacock being admired all the time? The peacock had heard every word. Hang on a second. There's a little issue. There we go. The peacock had heard every word. For days he moped about, moaning and groaning. I wish I could be more useful around here. Humph, clucked one hen. The others ruffled their feathers. The old hound stretched and slowly raised his head. Why not let the peacock stay here to be useful while you hens take the glamorous job down by the road? So why do you think the hound suggested that they switch jobs? Maybe so they could see what the other job was like, right? The three hens began clucking to one another. What a wonderful plan. Yes, it's a fabulous idea. Oh, ladies, we simply must fancy up our feathers tonight and nothing but our brightest beads, bangles, and bows. We'll stop traffic for sure, while you girls know I can strut with the best of them. The peacock perked up. Let's do it, he declared. Tomorrow I'll stay here, sit on a nest, and cluck. And we'll get all gussied up, said the hens. We'll be so glamorous. At sunrise the next morning, the hens strutted down to the road. And look how gussied up they look. They have their beads, their bangles, their bows. The peacock marched right to the hen house and poked his head inside. The hens flocked by the road, waiting for a car. When they saw one approaching, they clucked and squawked and flapped their wings in a flurry of feathers. But every car whizzed right on by. Why do you think they're not stopping for the hens? The peacock sucked in his tummy and wiggled from left to right, trying to squeeze through the tiny henhouse door. His front half was in, his back half was out. Down by the road, those hens tried every chicken trick they knew. Still, no cars stopped. Finally, the peacock made it to the hen house. He held his breath and pushed with all his might, but no matter how hard he tried, he could not lay a single egg. Not one. The old hound stretched out on the porch, watching and listening. "What's that peacock doing in the hen house?" asked Farmer Tucker. "Who knows?" said Mrs. Tucker. "And what are those hens doing down by the road? Not a one of them is up here laying eggs." "Well, the way things are going, we aren't likely to have anyone buying eggs today," said Farmer Tucker. "We need that peacock down there stopping cars." When the peacock heard that, he smiled the biggest smile you ever saw on a bird's beak. "I am helping," he thought. He squirmed back and forth until he popped out of the cramped hen house. Then he trotted off to find the hens. The exhausted hens were all clucked out. Every feather was out of place. What a day! We couldn't get one car to stop. It's true. Why, most of them didn't even slow down. The peacock met the hens as they trudged up the road. "I can tell you I'm no good at laying eggs," he said. "I'm just not meant for it." One hen nodded. "I put on my stellar strut and even I couldn't stop a single car," she said. "I have to hand it to you, Fancy Feathers. Your job is harder than it looks." The other hens agreed. The peacock looked relieved. So the hens marched back to the hen house. The peacock strutted down to the road. The old hound stretched out on the porch, watching and listening, and things were quiet again on the Tucker's farm. Okay, guys, so think about the character traits of the characters in this story. Think about the hens. What can you see with your eyes, and what can you tell me about their personality? Same thing with the peacock. So after this, you're going to click on the link. You're going to answer a couple of questions about character traits, and then you're going to pick your favorite character from the story and tell me one internal and one external character trait about them. Talk to you guys later.